So we are getting stuck right into more Halloween spookiness, and today we are reading more stories from Reddit. This one is called My Haunted Hotel Experience. I was pretty young but still believed spiritual things like ghosts. So when this happened, I was baffled. I was travelling with some family and we found a hotel we could stay at for a while. It was not a normal looking hotel. It looked more as if it was an old timey hotel. We all had thoughts about this look, but we didn't think too far ahead. The first couple of days were okay, but then I would tend to hear a little girl humming, and all this took place mostly in the bathroom. It's funny, the last one about sleep paralysis, there was a lot to do with the bathroom. After maybe a week, I tried to avoid going to the bathroom as much as possible. When I overhear my sister talking to my mum about feeling like we weren't the only ones in the room, I felt as if I had a knot in my stomach. And although I slept in the middle, I still felt like it wasn't my sister or my mother sleeping next to me. I also got weird feels when we went to the laundry room. I feel like I can confirm this spirit of some sort was a girl because, one, my sister and my mom said they also thought it was a little girl. Two, is because the eerie feeling that was with this spirit's humming sounded like a little girl. We never complained though, for some reason. But I guess it doesn't really matter anymore. I can still picture of what I thought she would kind of look like. As a kid, she had an Alice look, but Alice looked as if she took a Sharpie to the ends of her hair. That's weird. The dress also looked less cupped and more wet looking, as if she took a shower with her clothes on. Her hair looked like the girl from The Ring with her long hair covering her face. That's only what I remember though. There could be a lot more, but that's all I can remember. That is really weird that you've never seen her, but you imagined what she looked like. Weird. Weird, weird, weird. You should call the Hotel Del Coronado. Oh, I think I've heard of the Del Coronado. My sister had an experience and told us the old part of the hotel was haunted. So I had my wife change our reservations to the newer building. My wife called and the staff she spoke to was happy to make the change. She asked if it was really haunted and the staff member said, absolutely yes. I'm not sure how the scary experiences are though. My sister was locked in the bathroom and she couldn't get the door open, even with the help from her husband on the other side. He went to the front desk and she was waiting patiently when the door opened on its own. My in-laws with us one year and stayed in the main part. The light from the bathroom kept turning on and waking them up. Being California, the bathroom lights have motion sensors to turn off and save energy, so it was going on and off all night. That is a weird one. I've worked at a hotel for a couple of years. We had a lady staying for a week. She was very nice and sweet. She would always run errands and send letters and packages. The day she was supposed to check out, housekeeping found her on the floor stiff as a board, with a whole bottle of vodka gone and pills all over the floor and a suicide note. The coroner came and picked her up and her stuff and we all went on with our lives. Half a year later, a man came into the room she had passed away in. He came down in the morning during one of my shifts and quietly asked me if something had happened in that room. I asked him why he was asking. He let me know that during the night he felt a presence sitting on the edge of his bed and what resembled an old lady's shadow or silhouette. He said he is sensitive to that kind of stuff and it didn't bother him at all and we had nothing to worry about. I told him about what had happened half a year ago and said it made sense. He said part of her still remained in the hotel or something like that, but she was harmless. No other guests have ever experienced anything in that room except for that man. The hotel I worked at had a ghost that would call 911 from a room on the third floor. Another time I called the front desk and played Highway to Hell through the phone. When I worked at a well-known convenience store, we had two little girls that played with the makeup and liked to scare my co-workers. An older gentleman that would sweep the floor fast. I made the mistake of asking him to make coffee, and it made a mess. Okay. My husband and I did a hotel tour throughout Colorado. We ended up staying at a bed and breakfast called the Patterson Inn. It was during the height of COVID in the middle of the week, so we were delighted to be the only guests in the hotel. Because of this, the owner told us we could walk around whenever and not worry about disturbing other guests. We stayed in the mother's room, which the room's lore said if you got frisky, she'll turn on the lights to interrupt you. We wanted to be scientific, so we leaned into our impulses. We actually went on a little longer than usual to give the madam plenty of time to interrupt. Nothing. Exhausted and kind of disappointed that nothing paranormal had happened all night, in an otherwise empty and haunted hotel, we passed out. Out of the blue, I woke up to see a scowling woman staring down at me. Her hand shot out of the darkness and clamped around my neck, which caused me to startle. When I opened my mouth to gasp, she splashed water down my throat. This fright caused me to sit bolt upright while I coughed violently for several minutes, which woke my husband up. He started clapping me on the back, asking was I okay. I finally regained my breath and felt a lot on edge. But I reassured him I was okay. How could you be okay? I didn't want to tell him what had happened because I was actually a little freaked out. I finally settled and eventually went back to sleep. Come on, there's no way you're going back to sleep after that. Next thing I knew, I was awake because my husband was coughing and I found him sitting up. It was my turn to ask was he okay. He nodded, and after a bit I could read the look of concern on his face, but he didn't say any more. When we got up in the morning, I asked if he had any weird dreams or experiences. He said right before I started coughing, he said, it felt like someone sat near the foot of the bed. Later, he had a quick dream that he was taking a bath and that this woman appeared and shoved his head under the water. I told him what I experienced and we were kind of in shock. I've stayed in several haunted hotels and I've had a few experiences that could be brushed off, but this was the first time anything real had ever happened, and almost harmful. So that's why I would list this as my scariest experience. Wow. Wow. That is a scary hotel story. If you have any scary hotel stories yourself, let me know in the comments below because I would love to hear them, and maybe I'll share them in my next video. See you guys next time.